Eugene of Savoy, the annihilator of the Ottoman army at the Battle of Zenta, one of the most influential statesmen of the Habsburg Empire, and the tutor of the future King of Prussia, Frederick the Great. However, there is a chapter in his story that gives his military and political career its complete meaning, and it is a rather underexplored subject: his revenge against the Sun King Louis XIV of France. Here is one of the most fascinating revenge stories of all time, where love, betrayal, ambition, and punishment are strongly tied to each other. This is Atamu's history, and now enjoy the story. It was the year 1650 and the age of Louis XIV. Yet the future Sun King was merely 12 years old, so it was his time of minority, and the nation was ruled by his Prime Minister Cardinal Mazarin and his mother Queen Anne of Habsburgs in execution. This year, Mazarin's sister Geronima lost her husband Baron Eugene Lorenzo Mancini. Hoping that her brother's very high influence in the French court would help her children to make their fortunes, she moved to Paris along with her 5 daughters and 2 sons. In an environment where he was closely engaged with Cardinal Mazarin and his family members, it was almost inevitable that Louis XIV would not have gotten in touch with the so-called Mazarinettes. Shortly after, he lost his heart to Marie Mancini. Yet their love did not live that long, as the teenager king saw no advantages in it and left Marie. As the young woman was sent to Italy to find a better match for herself, the king eventually married the Spanish princess Maria Theresia von Habsburg. Nonetheless, he would never be a faithful man to his wife. In the following years, he would give himself to the charms of many women, among them the sister of his teenage love, Olympia Mancini. There were even rumors saying that they slept together, but the king's relationship with the Mazarinette once more proved to be quite short, as he started to flirt with his sister-in-law Henriette d'Orléans. While the king was paying regular visits to this young and beautiful lady, his ex-love Olympia, now married to the Count of Soissons, was made the intendant of Queen Anne's household thanks to his uncle Cardinal Mazarin's influence. This was the highest position a woman could reach at the French court unless she was from the royal family, and Olympia used this opportunity to distract Louis' attention from Henriette by introducing him to Mademoiselle Lavalière. Nevertheless, her plan completely failed as the king began a new relationship with Olympia's tool of destruction. Furthermore, this relationship seemed much more serious than the others, as the two had children. In the 1670s, there appeared another issue attracting all classes of the French society other than the king's love stories. There was a poisoning trend in Paris followed by many people. At the trials which were run by Louis XIV's order, more than 200 sessions were held. 319 people were arrested, and 36 were condemned to execution. The most famous of them, one of the chief poison producers in Paris, Catherine Monvoisin, or simply La Voisin, burned on a stake. Olympia Mancini was not irrelevant to this trend at all, as her father was a necromancer in his lifetime, and she certainly knew one or two things regarding this devil art. She was accused of attempting to poison the mistress of the king, Mademoiselle Lavalière, and even the king himself. Soon, Louis XIV stamped the edict which approved the banishment of the Mazarinette from the French soil, and Olympia fled to Brussels in January 1680. By this time, Olympia Mancini's son Eugene was 17 years old and aspiring for duty in the royal army. Though he made various attempts to enroll in the army, Louis XIV eventually humiliated the enthusiastic young man by mocking his looks and advising him to pursue a career in the clergy. Whether the king's bad memories with his mother had taken a role in this unacceptable behavior or not, it proved too much for Eugene's nerves to be humiliated personally in addition to the banishment of his mother. In 1683, the Ottoman Grand Vizier Kara Mustafa Pasha besieged the city of Vienna with one of the largest armies Europe has ever seen. Already trying to deal with many challenges, a desperate Emperor Leopold sued for help from all over Europe. Although many rulers sent aid to the Habsburg Emperor, Louis XIV of France hoped the Ottomans to capture Vienna, as the Habsburgs were their common enemy. Yet, this did not hinder Eugene of Savoy and his friends from riding to the border to attend the relief army. Even though King Louis XIV of France appealed their action and ordered them to return, the bold and eager Eugene made his fateful decision to serve the Habsburg Emperor against the Turks and the French. Eugene commanded a battalion at the Battle of Vienna in September 1683 and took part in the liberation of the city from the Turkish siege. He then actively fought against the Turks in a war of 16 years. Being promoted to Field Marshal only at the age of 30, he eventually destroyed an Ottoman army led by Sultan Mustafa II himself at the Battle of Zenta. When a possible duty against his country of origin, France, was on the table, his mindset was clear. Only one thing is certain. Neither the blood nor the interests of my house will let me forget about my honor and my duties. Not even for a moment. He fought against the armies of Louis XIV and built supremacy against the king's armies by inflicting a series of defeats on them. The battles, in which Prince Eugene of Savoy participated, cost King Louis XIV at least some 100,000 men in 14 years. Proving the now aged king in a bloody but decisive way that he made a fatal mistake, Eugene avenged himself and his mother at the end of the story. Didn't I promise that I would only return to France with a sword in my hand? Louis has banished me. Now I have banished thousands of his subjects. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video and want to support us, please give a thumbs up and share it. See you on the next one.